This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday, I think we saw up to creating a new instance, a new Linux instance in the EC2 in the Amazon AWS, right? The free tier which we created. Okay. So what we will do today is we'll just repeat that creation of instance one more time very quickly. Okay, and then we will try to see how are we going to connect to the Linux machine. What are the various options available and how do we connect? And then once connected, we will try to see how to set up the initial software that is required in any Linux machines. We spoke about package manager yesterday, right? So we'll see how to use those package manager to download the initial few softwares. Okay, and then we'll go and install Tomcat as part of the initial softwares, and then we'll go and deploy the war file. That's a flow we'll follow today. And yeah, so let me quickly go and create a new instance. Okay, it's going to be a Linux. Let me continue with the Linux Red Hat. Okay, the one always I'll go and pick the one which is available with the free tier. I'll just go and add the storage. I'll put the storage as 30. 30 is the max you can go for eligible for the free tier. Okay, for now I'll keep the default as SSH port alone. Later, if we need to access our application which we are going to deploy in the Linux machine from my laptop, I'll add the further ports. Okay, for security reason, always open a minimal ports for your machines. Okay, I say launch. Now I can use the same pair which I used yesterday, or I can go and create a new your key. Okay, the private key which is required for the authentication. So let's use the same key. So whenever you're going to use you're going to get multiple machines, don't create new pair always. Try to use the existing pair. So the PEM file which we downloaded yesterday, right? You might have remembered the PEM file. The auth Linux is the one which I created yesterday, which we will try to reuse it. Okay. So it is saying it is now launching. Now we can go directly to the console. Okay, so we'll go and click this and then get the IP address. Okay, so with the public IP, we'll be able to connect it to this Linux instance. Okay, so for connecting to the Linux instance, right, you have two important options. One is through the Putty console, and second, to move the files in between Windows and Linux, right? I was talking about you might create scripts in the Windows machine, right, which has to be moved to a Linux for execution. You will have results created in Linux machine. You have to move back to your Windows machine. There might be a lot of such instance where you might need to move files between your laptop, which is your Windows machine, to the Linux machine. For that, we will use something called WinSCP. So WinSCP and Putty are two softwares. Okay, two softwares which you will be using it for connecting to your Linux machine. Okay, so I'm just keeping note of all these softwares which we will be using through the course. I'll share this sheet also so that you can download this directly. Okay, so I'll just put the AWS also. Okay, so these two things you just need to download and then install it. Installing is something you just need to do a click, and then your WinSCP will get installed. Similarly, Putty also, it's a very simple installation. So you install both the Putty as well as your WinSCP. Okay, so probably I'll try to copy this itself, MSI. Okay, so okay, once you install it, you can go and open the WinSCP. Okay, so in the left hand side, okay, now it will ask you to connect to the new site. Right? I'll just say new site and provide the host name. So the host name is whatever the new IP which we have got from the new mission. Right? I'll just copy this. Okay, and then say SFTP. Okay. So you remember this is the port which we opened. SSH port is what we have opened while doing the creation of your mission, right? So that port is what we will give it here. Okay. So in the WinSCP, just click new site and select SFTP, and then give the host name, give the port, and then we don't have a username and password. Instead, we'll go and upload the PEM file which we which we created and told while we creating the EC2 instance, we told use the same PEM file, right, which we created yesterday. So we'll go and upload the same PEM file for the authentication. Go to the authentication. Okay, so go to the private key file. Click this. Go and select all files. Okay, and select this authlinux.pem file. Okay, open, say okay. Or provide your username. The username by default username for all the IPs, all the missions which you create, all the Linux missions which you create will be EC2 underscore user. Okay, so now it is connected. Okay, so you will see all the folders that is available in the your Linux machine. Okay, just give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, fine. So you in the left hand side you will have the your Windows machine folder, right? Your C Windows or My Documents desktop. So you can navigate through whatever way you can go to the all the folders wherever you wanted to copy the files or navigate through in the left hand side for your Windows. Okay, so if you want I have to go to the Tomcat folder, I'll go to the Tomcat folder. I'll go to the web folder. Okay, and then similarly in the right hand side, it is going to provide you the Linux directory, right? So it will have root, it will have home. If I want to go back to the root, I can go to the root. It will display all the folders that are there in the root directory. Okay, and you can just click it. So it is more of your file manager. You can call out. So to handle files between your Windows and Linux, you will use WinSCP. Okay, fine. So this is one way where you will be able to. This is one of the best way to copy files between your Windows machine and Linux machine. So WinSCP is something you have to have mandatorily in your Windows machine. Okay, fine. So now this is only for the file management, but for you to access your machines and install your softwares, right? All these things you have to use Putty. Okay, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. My laptop got stuck. Just give me one few seconds. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell, I'll just close the WinSCP one more time, or I'll try to close this. Okay, yeah, I'll try to connect it one more time. Okay, and then go advanced, go to authentication, and then all files. Okay, so initially, right, you will have this auth linux.pem. This pem file is what you will download it from your when you create the AWS instance, right? If you remember it, right? So in the WinSCP for the first time, when you upload the pem file, right? Um, in fact, for WinSCP and Putty, you need another format of private key, which is nothing but .ppk. Okay, but initially when we download it, you will have only pem file. So the first time for any machine when you connect, right, you will use pem file. Okay, and then your WinSCP will tell you that, okay, shall I go and convert that into a Putty format? Okay, so remember that when you download a private key, it will get downloaded in a pem, but the acceptable format for Putty or WinSCP is going to be .ppk. So WinSCP will out for the first time. For the first time when you upload it to WinSCP, it will convert into a ppk. Okay, so I was already having that ppk, so I uploaded directly for the first time. That is why I wanted to show you that one more time. I'll just go and delete this. Okay, now when I go say okay, it will ask you where to store it. You store it under the same name with the .ppk saved. Okay, now you will upload the ppk file. So you will not upload the pem file to Putty or to WinSCP. You will upload the ppk only. But the one which you download from the your aws.amazon.com while you create the instance is only pem. So first time you upload the pem and your WinSCP will create you the ppk. Okay, I'll say okay and then say login. So EC2-user is the default username for any Linux instance. Okay, that's it. So now you get the all the directories similar to the last time. Okay, this is the first step for connectivity. Second thing, we'll go to the Putty. Okay, so the Putty as well, just go and provide the same IP for connecting it. 22 is the port. Okay, and then you can save this so that next time, right, you no need to go and provide these ppk file again. So just go and save the session. You can just give it as a Red Hat 2, whatever name you want to differentiate your missions. Okay, and then go to the SSH, expand the SSH, and go to the auth and upload the file. Okay, so and then go to the session and then save it. Okay, so you now have saved a Red Hat 2 session with host name as this, and you upload the authentication. Now you say open. Okay. It will again ask for you the username here as well, same ec2-user. Okay, so now you're connected to the Linux machine. Okay, so once you connected to the Linux machine for the first time, right, it is a raw machine. You will not have any softwares here. Okay, so here you can just go and understand where, in which directory you are logged in, right? You can just go and say something called pwd. Okay, it will provide you the current directory. So you are there in home ec2-user. If you remember in WinSCP, right, in WinSCP also you add this home, yeah. So if you have home and ec2-user, if you go to home ec2-user, okay, so this is the default folder. Here as well you logged in. Okay, now in the WinSCP you can easily go to the home, or you can easily go to the root directory, right? Similarly, if you wanted to go navigate here, you can use cd dot dot, so that you can go to the previous directory. So which means now we are in home. Again, if you go to one level upper, again you use cd dot dot. Okay, you can go to the root directory, or any point of time you can use cd slash, you can also go to the root directory. So there's a couple of ways you can navigate. Okay, so initially when you, if you want to know where you are, you will provide the uh, pwd, which will provide you the current directory where your system is, and then from here you can navigate back using cd dot dot one level before, right? If you are in home, if you and ec2-user, if you want to go one step back to home, similar to this, for that you will use the cd star star. Okay, so these are the few. Will as we move along, right, we might use a lot of other commands as well. Okay, so what I'll also do is, I'll, in the sheet, I think these things are, you will get used to it very easily, but still I'll just keep note of it so that you can refer it back whenever it is required. I'll give the description as well later. For now, as we move along, I'll just keep noting it for your future reference. Okay, so now we are connected to the Putty. We know which directory we are. We need to set up your mission for using it, right? So first thing what I'll go and check is if Java is already pre-installed as part of the OS. Okay, so I can go and check Java-version. Okay, Java-version, to check if Java is installed. It says Java command not found. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll have to go and install the my Java. Yesterday I was mentioning about the package managers, right? So if I go back to the slide, right? So yeah, so I was talking about apt and all, right? So in Red Hat, you will use the package manager called Okay, um, which package manager will be used in what kind of distribution. Um, we can easily go and get it in the internet, or can try this. Say for example, if I go and type apt install Java, right? It will say apt command not found. Okay, so to install a common softwares like Java, right? You can directly give the package name, the packager name, followed by install and Java. Okay, if apt is available, this package manager will be default available in the OS. Okay, now if I go and give sudo yum, I'll say what a sudo yum install Java. It will now go and download it. Okay, so first thing you want to know is these package manager which we have to use it. For Red Hat it is yum. For other distribution like CentOS or Debian and all, you might use apt. Okay, these are the two famous package managers. Which one you use it, you will get to know very easily when you're going to try to use it directly, or just you Google it. Okay, I'll that as well. Probably I will note it down. M for Red Hat. Okay, and come on, Amazon Linux. Come on, CentOS, and apt Debian Ubuntu. Okay, now it is saying it is downloaded. Do you want to really download the 163 MB file? I'll say yes. Now it will go and install it. Okay, it is now complete. Now I can go and check. So you can use the upper arrow in your keyboard to go back to your previous command. So you don't need to type the command every time. If your console, Putty console is active, during that time you can use all the previous commands. I'll just go and check Java version. Now it says I have the 1.8 Java 8 is something already installed. Okay, for any software installation, okay, you have logged in as a EC2 user, right? But for any software installation, for anything that you do which will require a more privilege, right, you have to use sudo. Okay, sudo, with when you execute something with sudo, you will be it will allow you to do that. Otherwise it will say that, say for example, if I go and say I'll just take out the sudo. Okay, it says it's not root. This command has to be run with super user privileges. Okay, so certain commands for installing it, for deleting it, for moving it and all, you might have to use the super user privilege. Okay, so since we have created this Linux machine, we by default we will get the sudo access, the super user privilege. But in your project, when you will be given with a particular user ID, you might not have the super user privilege. Okay, so then you have to go and request your administrator. If you're going to create a mission, that's not a problem. But somebody is going to provide you a mission with a user ID, say ABCD, then it might not have super user privilege by default. You have to go and ask your Linux administrator or your server administrator to provide the sudo access, providing a justification saying I need to install these softwares, I need to install Jmeter, I need to run execute Jmeter. So for all these things, you need a super user privilege. Then they will provide a certain privileges to you to install and access your execute your softwares. Okay, so that is something you need to remember. Okay, so now we have installed Java. Okay, so if you see here, I have used sudo yum install Java. I didn't even say where is Java. Java is in Oracle site, right? I didn't even say where to download from. Automatically, the yum, the package manager, Java being a very famous software, it will have the link from where it has to download it. Internally, yum will take care of it. Okay. Now, for example, um, um, Oracle, sorry, for Tomcat. Now I need to go and download the Tomcat, right? First step is I have set the mission with Java, which is a prerequisite for any software, Jmeter or Tomcat. You need Java. Now Java is set. Now I need to download install the Tomcat. Now if I go and say sudo yum install Tomcat, I can give a try. It says unable to find a match. Okay. So there are two ways to know whether this is available by default or not. You can just try out with the software name, or you can just go and Google it, asking Red Hat Linux yum installed Tomcat. If it is there, you will get the response immediately saying, okay, this is the command you need to use it, and you can just go and type it here, right? So both the way you can try it out. For Java, I just typed Java, it came. But for other software, you can try giving it here. Okay. Say for example, I'll try Jmeter. I don't know whether I can do the Jmeter this way. Just trying out. Unable to match. Okay, it might have Jmeter with some extension. I don't know, right? I don't need to remember everything. So I'll just try by giving it. If it is there, well and good. If not, then I'll go to the Google and search for what is the exact Tomcat file name I need to give it. Okay. Or second option is, instead of asking yum to install it directly, I can also go and download it from the site if I know the site. For instance, I'll go and go to the Tomcat download for Linux. That's how we do it for Windows also, right? We go and search for the software, and then I'll go to this Tomcat path, and then I'll go to the, probably I'll use Tomcat 9. Okay, Tomcat 9, and then yeah, and then I'll go and these are all Windows. So I for Linux, I'll go and pick the tar.gz is the version that you need to use it in the Linux. Okay, so I will go and right click it, copy the address. So this is the path in which your Tomcat installation zip file is there, right? So I'll just go and get this link alone. Okay, and then I'll come here. Okay, there is a command called wget. Okay, so wget is a command to download the URL. Okay, so I'll just go and note it down in our Excel as well. So yum followed by wget. Okay, so if I go and give sudo wget and then provide this, just whenever you go and copy that, right, you cannot use control V here. You copy this URL, you just need to right click, just right click, it will be pasted. Okay, you cannot use control V, you have to right click it. It says wget command not found. Okay, so the wget, which is a command to download, that wget software itself is not there. So which means you need to go and download that software called wget. Wget is a package which will help you to download the software. So yum is the software which will download and install it. That's a yum package manager. Wget is a package which will help you to download only. Okay, now wget is not there. So what I'll do is I'll go and sudo yum install wget. Okay, so with this sudo, I'll just keep it. Yeah. So now what I'm asking is, I'm asking yum, go and install the wget software for me. Now it will download the wget, and I'll say yes. Now it is complete, right? So now I can go and say sudo wget this directory for me. So before getting this directory, right, what I'll do is I will download it in a, so now where I'm in a root, I'm in a home directory, right? I'm the root directory. So usually we will install this under the user directory. So I'll go to the user and then I'll list it. I'll go to the local cd local and then bin. So I am in the user local bin. Okay. Uh, Probably as a practice, we can install all the custom softwares um, in the user local bin. So I have now gone into user local bin. Now I will try to use the sudo wget and the path. Now this zip file will get downloaded here. Okay. Um, so once it is downloaded, you can now go and say ls. So in the bin folder, now you have this tar gz, right? Now what you need to do is you need to extract it, right? You need to extract this file like you do unzip, right? You need to now unzip it. So for that, the command is going to be again sudo tar, like winzip, right? You use tar -xvf and then paste this zip file name. Okay, this is a command. I'll just go and enter this as well. Okay. Okay. So if you see now, all the files folders got extracted here. So it is just listing out all the files in the um, when you did this unzip, it has unzipped everything, and it is now, if you go to ls, and you will see Apache Tomcat, right? Now cd to Apache Tomcat. Now you will see bin conf lib logs. So now let me go to my Windows machine. Okay, and then I will show you how this now looks like. Tomcat. I'll go to the root. I'll go to the user. I'll go to the I think I need to reconnect it. So after 5-10 minutes of idle time, right, it will disconnect you. So you have to reconnect again. Okay. Now I'll go one up. User. Then user local bin Apache Tomcat. Okay. Now you see bin conf lib logs temporary, all these folder, right? In the left hand side, I don't know why it is not taking me to the directory. Let me go one more time. C Windows. I just want to show how this directory is going to look like in the Windows, the same Tomcat directory, how it is going to look like in the Windows and in the Linux as well. Okay, somehow this view is not coming to me. Okay, let me anyway go to my directly see DevOps Tomcat new. Okay, so if you see here, right, it has bin, conf, lib, logs, temporary, all these folders are here, right? Now if you go back to the your Linux also, you will see the same thing: bin, conf, lib, logs, temp, web apps, everything. Okay, so that is what we did in the Linux machine. We downloaded the your Tomcat and then unzipped it, and once you unzip it, you will find all the files like bin, conf, lib, everything that is required for your Tomcat to work. Okay, now my Tomcat is now available. The next step is I need to go and um, deploy the war file, right? I need to deploy the war file. So we're deploying the war file is nothing but in my Tomcat directory. If you go to the web apps, right, I will have the elibrary.war file. So the war file, the archive file, that is the one you will copy into the web apps folder and then start the server. That is about deployment, right? So this war file I need to copy to this. So now in my Windows machine, war file is there. When I start the Tomcat, my application will start. Now my war file, I need to copy this war file to the Linux directory. Okay, so for that what I will do is I'll probably try to close this WinSCP and then open it one more time. Okay, I'll just copy this IP address one more time. I didn't save this. I should have saved the session. Authentication. Go here. Okay. So now what I will try to do is I'll try to copy this vlibrary.war file into the I'll go to the user, I'll go to the local, I'll go to the bin, I'll go to the Tomcat folder. Okay, I'll just now try to copy this war file here. Just drag and drop. Permission denied. One second. I'll just go to the bin, local bin. I'll copy here. It is not allowing me to copy it inside. Let me try copying to the dev. Some problem with my WinSCP. I think it is not allowing me to copy the files. Okay, I'll sort this out. I think something is fishy with the WinSCP. So it is not allowing me to copy this war file. Okay, Let it be. Okay. Well, we'll probably for tomorrow we'll start with this copying this war file, and then we'll go and deploy it. I'll take a pass here. Yeah, if you have any questions on whatever we have done today, right? So far, I think we can spend next 5-7 minutes on the questions, guys. So anybody has any questions? Yeah, feel free to put it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask the question.
Satish, why we are using Tomcat? What is the purpose actually?
Okay, see, Tomcat, why are we using it? To set up this mission for our application, right? We need some application to work on, correct? So to run the application, the war file has to be deployed in a web server. That is why we are using the Tomcat. So Tomcat is a web app server in which you can deploy your any sample web application. Okay, there are two ways of looking into it. One, for us to probably uh, run your Jmeter script, execute your Jmeter script, or for you to look into the logs, right? Normally when we do a performance testing, while doing the execution, right? I was mentioning about monitoring the service. So I need to monitor a sample application. I need to monitor the log. I need to look into the CPU memory. I need to look into the JConsole for JVM level metrics. So for all these things, I need a app, right? I need to have an app running in my Linux machine. So you as a performance tester, you will log into the application server, and then you will monitor your CPU memory. You will look into the logs. So which means in the Linux machine, you should have a sample application running, and that is what we are trying to do it. We are going into the Linux machine, we are installing the Tomcat, and then we are deploying it. In real project, in some cases, earlier and all, most of the cases, there's a deployment team who will install Tomcat, who will deploy your war file and give you the access to the mission where you can just monitor it, or you can look into the logs. But now, in most of the places, there's nothing called a separate team. You have to go and set up your mission for profiling, or set up your own mission for your testing. So in that case, you should know how to download the Tomcat, how to deploy the war file in Linux, and then use it. So that is why we are using Tomcat. Tomcat is a web server in which your sample application will be deployed.
Okay, Satish.
Satish, in order to connect to this EC2 instance, do we always need to use the PEM file or the PPK file, or we can also connect to the username and password?
You can also create username and password. Um, Once you, for the first time, right? For the first time, when you create a mission, you will get PEM file only. Okay, so in that case, you will convert that into a PPK, and then you will save it in your WinSCP for the first time, so that next time it won't ask you. In Putty as well, once you save this PPK file, it won't ask you the password. But once you logged into the your Linux mission, you can also go and set up the user ID and password, so that you will also have the other option to do it. So default, first time default option is going to be PEM and PPK, but further on you can also go and set up the password, which can also be used uh, uh, because see, there are two ways. Either you can, for your teams, right? For other teams, if you are going to be a Linux administrator, in that case you will create a mission. You will get the root access or sudo access, and then you can go and create multiple user IDs and then give to a team, and you can also create password and give to the other team members. But for the first time as an administrator, you have to use the PPK file.
Yes, because in we used to get the username and password when we are using that, when we're using any uh, cloud
Correct.
machines.
Correct. Because you wouldn't have created the machine, right? Some other administrator would have created it, and then you would have given it to you. So if they give the password, you can use the password directly. So when you log into that, when you provide the login ID, right, it will automatically ask for the password. Once you type a password, it will get into a system. So both ways will work. But if you are going to do everything as an administrator, you need this PEM file and PPK file. Some other administrator is going to provide you. They might provide you the password directly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question, guys? I think today as well. I think it's not a demo session anyway, but yeah, we just allowed everyone else also to join this session to know what we are going to learn. But from Monday, it is going to be only for the registered users. So if you have any questions on the again on the course content or the fees payment, yeah, reach out to Kumar sir in the WhatsApp group. Okay. And any other questions as well you have, you can just put it in the WhatsApp in the daytime. I'll be happy to answer you guys. So what I'll do is whoever is registered, right, just give the email ID in the group. Okay. So that I can start giving the access to this file, and as well as whatever other artifacts, the like war file and whatever I might have it related to this Linux, I'll also upload it to the drive, and I can give the access to the drive.
Ritesh,
Okay.
you're also going to share some materials to us, like any PPTs and all for listening.
Not PPT. See, there are one or two good PDFs which will have a lot of content about Linux, but if you go and look for some good Linux document, it is all over the place. So whatever we are going to learn, I'll put it in the Word document, and this Excel I'll share it with you. I'll also share one or two good Linux PDF file, but those PDF files are something, it is there in the internet. There are a lot of good PDF which will tell about how to use Linux. But anyway, I'll share those as well, along with these file which I'm going to create it during the session. Okay. Fine, guys. Cool. Okay. So I'll stop the recording, and then we'll connect it on Monday again, same time.